In today's video, I am going to be breaking down a triangle and two defense that is different than what you would normally do. And it is AAU season, so let's get down and let's check out some janky defenses that will shut teams down. But if you want some really great defenses, make sure to go check out my Deadly Defensive Strategies book that is down in the description below so that you can shut down teams right at half court or even full court. It is up to you, but that book is absolutely fantastic. So definitely go check it out if you're looking to defend every single team and shut them right down. Okay, so usually in a triangle and two, what usually happens is you will have your three players in a triangle defense here. You're going to have one player who is guarding one specific player and another player who is guarding another player man on man. So basically most teams will use this when the other team has two really good players and the rest they really do not care about. Now that's all set and good, but what happens if you want to shut down more than just one player while still using the triangle and two? Well, you actually still can. But first, let's actually break down the triangle part so we understand how these guys have to move. So for example, if the ball is on this side, they will stay in their triangle. However, we have two players guarding the side of the key and this player who would be guarding ball because this player is out in this zone. So basically how these guys' zones work is player 1 is going to be covering the top. Player 5 in his main location is going to be guarding this location. And player 3 is going to be essentially guarding this location. However, there are secondary zones. So for example, player 3, while his zone is technically this spot, his secondary zone is going to be over here. Meanwhile, while player 5, his zone is here, his secondary zone is here. A secondary zone is basically what we're talking about here when we still have the triangle. However, now they are on this side of the key. Player 5 would be on ball, or at least close to him, trying to force away from middle because we do not want the ball as a defensive team to be in this area right here. This should be no man's land. We do not want a ball in this location. Same thing happens if the ball is up top. They will be in their defensive zones covering the key. Some coaches may want player 4 to move up, but in general, I want him at the free throw line. There's a reason for that. We have two other players that will be guarding the perimeter. Meanwhile, if the ball is on this side, player 3 is going to move out, player 5 is going to cover that side of the key, and player 4 is going to cover that elbow. This way, we don't have any high to low post passes from player 4 or from the elbow, from the high post, and hopefully we can cut off passes going to the low post. Now you're probably wondering what happens to the other two players. Well, there's a couple of different ways that you can run this. So personally, I like to run it where player 1 and 2 start side by side. Both of them are forcing towards sideline or baseline. If player 1 has the ball and he starts dribbling out to this side, that's totally fine. 2 will continue to force player 1 towards that sideline. Meanwhile, player 1, he's going to be staying at half. If this pass goes down to this side, we have zone coverage here. Player 2, because he's guarding this side of the court. Player 2, blue, is going to go down and trap this. Player 4 is going to cover the high post. Player 5 is going to cover the low post. And player 1 can hover on the opposite side for those long cross-court passes. Meanwhile, if the pass gets out, let's say, to player 1, they start reversing it out. Well, now player 1 is going to now force player 1 red out towards this left side. Meanwhile, the zone portion of this is going to then relocate back to their triangle. And then let's say player 1 starts dribbling out to this side. Well, then player 1 blue is going to continue to be there and force him out to that side. Meanwhile, player 2 is going to sprint up and try and take the reverse pass away. If player 1 passes to player 2, this would be single coverage. Player 3 moves over, player 2 drops to cover that reverse pass out. And player 1, skip pass, my bad. Player 1 will now go down and trap with player 5. Player 4 could be risky. He could play the risky game and go for the interception for any passes that are going there. However, this is how you can run a very janky triangle in 2 while not necessarily isolating one single offensive player. This is a very janky but yet cool way of running a triangle in 2 that I've used and been very successful with. Make sure to go check out my Deadly Defensive Strategies book that is down in the description below so that you can shut teams down with some fantastic traps. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Hit that like button and subscribe.